Lovely to meet you, Huma. And I saw the trailer. It looks interesting, and it's in that dark space. It's in the gray space. Cheat, Mithya is the working title, is what I've been told.
Mithya, yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah, Mithya. Okay, so it starts with you playing a professor, and there's plagiarism, which is thrown around. So, and somewhere you've said that there is an original cheat in all of us. So tell me about that.
Well, essentially that I think everybody, what you see is not always what you get. All of us as people, whether we are working or at home or otherwise, we have these different masks that we wear. So nobody is ever going to tell you the absolute truth. वो तो सच है. कोई किसी को पूरा सच नहीं बताता है. People always have their own versions of the convenient truth. And yeah, that's what essentially it is about. It takes that as an idea, and it talks about these complex characters that are thrown in this world, and that's what the show is about.
And it looks interesting because towards the end of the trailer, it almost looks like she's found a way out of that situation.
Has she? We don't know about that.
It looks like that.
We don't know about that. Also, I think what was sent to you is not the final trailer. There's just like more in terms of just visuals, pertaining to the show. I think the final trailer, at least for the public viewing, we're going to put out in a couple of days. But essentially, no, what we wanted to establish to the communication was just different characters, their complexities, the masks that they wear, and how they sort of, play at each other. So it's this web of lies that are constantly being spun. I mean, I had never done something in the thriller space, so I was very excited to sort of, explore that.
Also, the actress who's with you, who's cast opposite you, is the manipulator as seen.
Not really. I think. Let's see.
We don't know. No, I'm talking about what I saw. It's from what the material that I've seen, and the fact that there is. Does the best lie win at all, or does karma find it? Does the best lie win in the end?
What do you think?
It's intriguing.
I think the best lie wins in today's day and age. I mean, as much as the goodness in me would like to believe this karma and good always comes, right in the end and comes through in the end. But I think right now the world that we're living in, especially with all this, it's who can yell the most, who can scream the loudest, who can tell the biggest lie.
Yeah.
They sort of win. How
do you deal with somebody lying to you? How have you dealt with them?
I just switch off. And I'm like, bas mera ho gaya. And I in fact, I don't even bother them for another explanation. I just cut myself off.
That's the way you've always dealt with liars?
I find it's a convenient way of doing it. It's less mental stress. Yeah, because sometimes the thing is, for example, if you've lied to me and we get into a conversation, then I'm looking for an answer. I'm looking for closure. But if I'm convinced that you actually lied, to harm me or hurt me in some way, then I'm just like, okay, let's just back off.
Indifference. Do you think that is your response?
No, it's more than indifference is to protect my own mental sanity and peace. I think that's what it is.
Okay. Do you see a lot of the material that I've seen, the bits and pieces of the trailer, is a sort of gray, and in the gray space? Do you see? It's also the gray matter that an audience needs to use to understand that gray. So tell me about that. Playing. It looks like a mental game.
Yes, I think all the characters in the show are playing mental games with each other. So nobody is how they seem. Nobody's saying what they actually mean. And as you watch the show, you'll see all of them just sort of discover and uncover a lot of their backstories and their motivations and their reasons to do the things that they end up doing.
Yeah.
On the face of it, it may seem like a professor and a student, and the professor accusing the student of plagiarism. But then as you sort of discover, actually something else is only afoot.
What's that something else is what we'll watch soon. Okay. Yes. But as a person, do you find it easier to say the truth and face the brunt, or manage it with a lie and people are happy? What is your approach?
If I have to lie, of course I can lie. And I can lie quite well. I'm an actor.
Yeah, actors, of course.
I
But
have to lead imaginary
lives.
lives constantly. So I have to do it with conviction. So you can never tell.
Yeah.
But in real life, if I have to lie, yeah, I mean, actually, I'm a bad liar, but mostly I get caught out.
You get caught.
Mostly I get caught out.
But do you believe in, comforting someone with a lie or hurting them with the truth? It's okay.
No, I think sometimes some lies are good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're too kind.
some lies are good.
Okay, it helps you. Okay. Also, the fact that you venture into a lot of content, which includes regional content, which includes international content, and it is also Hindi that is anyway your turf. So tell me about each of this and how you bring it together and this entire content explosion on OTT now.
Oh, well, I'm just
Oh,
blessed as an actor. I get to work in Tamil cinema, I get to work in Hindi cinema, I get to do interesting shows on OTT, on different platforms. I get to do international projects. So I feel like in that sense, I have the best of all the worlds. I don't really have to pick and choose. I think that the time is so interesting for us that as an actor, I can explore myself fully without being sort of subservient to like a particular region or an area or a format of storytelling. And that I feel is in the end kahaniyon ki jeet hoti hai. Good stories win the day, and that's the way I look at it. Like I will go and be part of a story, no matter which part of the world it sort of originates from, as long as the story I feel is an important story that must be told, or it's something different that I have not done. So I always gravitate towards that. Like with Mithya, I was like, oh wow, I've never done anything like this, before. So it'll be great fun to do this.
Okay. Also, the fact that you see OTT content closer to life, because a lot of cinema does get into an escapist zone, and content on OTT is more relatable, and you have to hook the audience to the screen because there is a chance that people might just move on. So, how different is it? Fast paced? How do you, as an actor, see the difference?
Well, give me 1 second. Thank you. I don't mind now. I'm going to have my coffee.
Yeah, please do.
OTT, I mean, yeah, for example, for sure, like the stories are far more nuanced. It's not just black and white. It's not just, I mean, there are lots of grays. Like you just don't have a hero and a villain. Sometimes you could be rooting for like a character that's completely gray. And you sometimes also judge yourself, oh my God, like this guy just killed someone, but I'm still like feeling empathetic. He's still the hero of my story. She's still the hero of my story. And that sort of leaves you a bit like mind boggled. But I think that's the fun, right? Like I remember when I was in school, I remember reading Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita. And when I read it, I was like, oh my God, like, this guy is a pervert child kidnapper and he's the protagonist. So, my morality got a little shook. So I think that's what now today you watch so many shows, you see it's like Money Heist and you're like, oh my God, these guys are actually, robbing, money, but they're still my heroes and I feel bad when they die. So I think that's the fun of modern day storytelling.
Yeah, also the fact that the image of the hero has completely crumbled into a different space, right? And there are different characters who are heroes. This entire thing about collapsing this one person who's helming it, and then it gets distributed.
Or for that matter, women. So you have far more women.
Yeah.
Leading the day.
Yeah.
And I think that's so liberating and nice. And just I think especially with OTT now, you have more women sort of leading shows and content and more women-centric stories coming to the fore. And that's a sign of really great times.
Yeah. Also the fact that there are a lot of filmmakers who are sensitive to this content when it comes out, even if they're directing women. It need not be a woman. I'm a little careful about the way even you call them women filmmakers and men filmmakers.
I agree.
Politically, like it's very messed up, so we don't even know. So the fact is, if the difference between a man directing a women-led series and a woman directing a women-led series, do you find a difference, and how?
I mean, for me, again, a filmmaker is a filmmaker. I've never sort of seen that, or judge them on the basis of their gender. I feel ability is most important. I work with some fantastic male directors and some not so fantastic ones. I work with some amazing female directors, and Yeah, mostly amazing female directors. Most of them. Maybe that's a gender bias, huh? Like I'm admitting to it. Maybe there's a gender bias over there. No, but I have to say this, and I was saying this to Deepa Mehta when we were shooting Laila. I was like, just my comfort with her is so much. I was like, maybe like I think about it. Of course, she's an amazing director, and she I think drew out the best work in me as a performer. But I still feel, is it like a thing because she's a woman? I'm so comfortable. Like I don't think I have to mince my words or have to like think about it. And maybe there's like all that baggage of how do you communicate, maybe that's not there. So, but I think that's my limitation. And I think, but that's also like an interesting conversation to have. I work with makers because I feel that they're good, not based on their gender. I mean, and I do know maybe in the past, a lot of female directors did not get the kind of opportunities to direct the kind of shows or films that they wanted to do with the budgets that they had in mind. A lot of maybe male stars did not want to be directed by a woman because or have them call the shots. But I think that is fast changing. And I think that should change because we have such competent and good directors today of the female gender, who are telling stories. They don't have to necessarily be women-centric stories. Like I just recently did Maharani, where you had Subhash Kapoor, showrun it, and the writers and the director and everybody, they were all male. But despite that, it is such a strong female-led narrative. And they all are feminists in that sense. So I feel like your gender does not necessarily define you. In some cases, it can restrict you, but it's a personal choice. You can transcend it, and you can tell stories that are universal.
It's largely about your sensibility, male or female. You could. It's what,
Absolutely.
What is the stimuli that you
absolutely
carry forward? What about what are the scripts that talk to you immediately? Like you see it and you say, yeah, this is mine.
Anything I've not attempted before.
Okay.
If I'm doing a subject and I get like after Maharani, I got a couple of scripts that were all set in Bihar, and or if not Bihar, then it was set about a woman who's illiterate or uneducated, and I feel like, but I've done it.
Yeah.
Why would and I don't want to repeat myself. I'm like, why would I do the same thing again? Like, I mean, I remember talking to somebody and I said, listen, I've done Bihar. Now it's done. Like, this is all I have to offer as an actor. Or nahi hai mere andar. Ab kuch naya karte hain, maybe let me explore another language, accent, lingo. Let me do something with my look. I mean, I can't keep doing the same thing again and again. And so that's what I feel like. So maybe then after that, I try and change the genre I'm working, maybe, because you also learn so much.
Yeah. What about another language film? Like, what about the South Indian actor?
Like Tamil. Yeah, like I'm doing Balimai, which was such a different experience. And our director, Mr. Vinod, Vinod, is a fantastic maker. And I think I'm doing an action film, which is a big masala action film with Ajit sir, and it's been such a different experience. And it's a difficult film to make because we literally shot that film the last 2 years in the middle of the pandemic. Whenever things would open up, we would start shooting, stop, and then we would start and then stop. And there was a foreign scare which was completely like up and down. But yeah, full marks to the entire team, to our producer Mr. Bonnie Kapoor, to everybody involved with that project for just keeping the faith and for like seeing the film through. And now I think we're ready for release, but now we have to push because of the pandemic. But it's a film meant for the theater, and I feel like it's the kind of film that will transcend borders. It's not just a film for, say, Chennai. I think it'll sort of it's a pan-India film in that sense.
Well, we saw a pan-India film that your brother did, and we saw it in Dubai too, and we saw it for quite a bit. 83, what a beautiful film! And I saw your praise. I saw the message that you put out, and what a film! Because I've seen the actual. I've lived through that era, so I know that it was euphoric. So I'm sure content today doesn't limit itself. Anyway, OTT doesn't limit itself to a region. And the fact that stories today are told across the world and consumed across the world. It's an actor's, the theater was usually called an actor's medium. Today, OTT is replacing that, not replacing that, but it's adding to the fact that it is an actor's medium. And content is consumed based on what you do on.
I would say it's a writer's medium. I would disagree. I would say it's the writer's medium. I feel like we are so become so aware कि जितने भी अच्छे writers हैं वो सब busy हैं इस वक्त हमारी industry में सब काम कर रहे हैं और सब बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं and now we're thinking like okay do we need to have more writers or do we need to have more writing rooms and because I really feel at the end of the day we are all subservient to great material. I think it all boils down to that. Like you can be a good actor or a medium actor or a whatever actor, but you need good content to sort of back you, to sort of, you need to have those lines on the page. If they're not there on the page, you're not going to be able to say them.
Yeah, I was interviewing an actor recently and he spoke about how he was talking to Mr. Salim sir from Salim Javed, who at one point of time said that he will charge more than the leading actor of a film, and he did succeed in doing it. So, and today that era is happening where the story is the center, the script writer is at the center of everything. So, yeah, more power to scripts and more.
Yes, absolutely.
What about production? And you?
Well, Double XL is ready. Double XL is up for release in May if everything goes well, and we're very excited about it. Again, it's a story about two women, body positivity, and it has Sonakshi and I acting in it. So yeah, to have my name attached to that film as a producer is a very, very satisfying feeling. Mm-hmm. I feel it's the kind of film that I want to tell, the kind of stories I want to tell, which are, which are really heartfelt, that are personal, yet universal. I think it's the kind of story that will touch every woman, every man across the country and told in an entertaining format. Like I feel boring film mein na, matlab documentary koi dikhta nahi hai. Matlab as kids, the films that I watched and I got inspired from were like the popular films, and I feel like popular culture is the real way in which you make social change. So I always want to make like a really felt film. I want to make really good films, but I also want to make really entertaining films. And I think that's what we're trying to attempt with Double XL. But it's a film very close to my heart, and we're very excited for it to be my production company's first film. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Good luck to that. And before we end this interview, is any lie that you've regretted saying when you were a child? Regret.
Is there
any lie that you regretted? You regretted later that I shouldn't have said. It could be in childhood. It's okay. I'll make it simpler.
Did I get caught? I didn't get caught. If it's a lie that I got caught at, then I was like, "Ooh, I really regretted it." If I didn't get caught, I was like, "Chalo, acha hai."
Right. Thank you very much for speaking to me.
Thank you, Baba. Nice talking to you.
Bye. Whenever you're here, let's meet.
Yes, we'll catch up for sure.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.